Hey, what's going on, everybody? Little house cleaning. Make sure that you like this video. Make sure you leave a comment on this video. That really helps with our algorithms and getting in front of more people. Also, make sure that you subscribe to this channel. I hope you enjoy this content and I hope it blesses you. All right, without further ado, I want to get right into it. Today's subject is faithful over a little, faithful over a lot. All right. A lot of times in our lives, we want to have a lot. That's understandable. We want to have an abundance. We want to have a life of abundance. But the reality is, you're getting tried every day to see what you're going to do with what you got. Now, when you fix your mouth to ask us, when you fix your mouth to ask for more, the question really is, what are you doing with what you got? Are you taking care of that? You want that nice car, but you treat your car, you treat your hoopty like a piece of trash. Now you got to take care of your hoopty. These are things that you have to activate towards the universe because everything that you're going to do is going to come back to you, whether you think people see it or they don't. You have to be faithful in what you're doing. And okay, faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. So faithfulness is you taking what you have, taking what you hope for, conducting yourself in such a manner that when you get what you're supposed to have, you already have the training to be able to obtain it. I'll give you an example. If you ever won the lottery, or imagine someone who has a makes about $40,000 a year, okay, and all of a sudden they go play the lottery and they win $100 million, okay. If they win $100 million and they didn't know how to take care of the 40,000 that they had, living check to check, doing frivolous things with their money, wasn't saving, wasn't investing, wasn't doing anything. Now they got $100 million. What makes you think that they're going to be all of a sudden responsible over more money? And sometimes these types of blessings, they are barricaded from you. They're blocked from you because having those types of things may make you more harmful to yourself or others. You know, you take your paycheck that you get, let's just say you got paid weekly. You get paid on Friday and Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Now Wednesday comes and you are broke. And you make every excuse why you're broke. Or you tell anybody that will listen, man, I'm check to check, man. It's tough out here in these streets. And it's just like when we add up your bills, do you add up your bills? Do you even know what your bills add up to every month? Well, you could see how much you are supposed to have, and you could try to work towards that. But you want to have a better job, you want to have a better business, you want to make more money, you want to have more access to more resources. When you show yourself to be irresponsible with the resources that you do have, we've all done it. I've done it. But it's not going to turn around or it's not going to change until you own up to where you are, what you're doing, how well you're doing it, and how well you're not doing it. Are you giving yourself a good measure? Are you grading yourself the way that you're supposed to grade yourself? Or are you grading yourself with a curve? See, most of the times when we grading ourselves with a curve, we think we're doing ourselves a favor. We're only giving ourselves a momentary band-aid on the problem that exists. Is that what we want to do? Or do we want to be honest with ourselves and say, you know what, this is the grade that I made? You want people to follow you. You want people to follow you, and you ain't looking out for the people that's following you. But you want more followers. Why? You're not doing what you're supposed to do with the people that are following you. In order to be a leader, you have to have you have to have a strong sense of accountability. And it can't be other people pointing out. It's great that it's happening that way, but it can't be until somebody points out your wrongdoings for you to recognize and fix it. You have to be able to have self-reflection to be able to understand, am I doing what? Give yourself the progress report. Nobody should be harder on you than you. No one should have more expectations of you than you. But folks can't sit around and wait for you or suffer for you because you're not doing that for other people. Faithful over a few, faithful over many. What are you going to do? You're going to keep playing the game like, I'm going to do what I want to do. My situation is tight. My situation is fine. But everybody that I'd have made subjects to myself, I'm just going to let them just fall by the wayside. Tell them to stay strong. Tell them to keep up the good work. That means I'm not, if the people that are following me can't eat like I'm eating, then that means I don't need to have anybody following me. I might as well just do it by myself, because there is a responsibility. Everything that you want from someone is what you should be giving to someone. Always tell people, if you open your mouth and fixate your mouth to say something to somebody, make sure that it's something that you understand, that you can hold, and that you can keep. It's like if I sit up here and I try to, if I, it's two things I can give you. I can give you my feelings, or I can give you the facts. My feelings are always going to be debated, but the facts can't be debated. You just look stupid when you debate the facts. So the best thing to do is to cloak yourself with the facts. Just gather the facts before you say something. Just gather, the facts. Because I'm telling you right now, if you tell yourself like, I, I feel, I feel like, I feel like, men do this, or I feel like women do that. When the facts come out, the facts are going to either prove you're right or prove you're wrong. You really, when you get in your feelings, you really start making yourself look stupid. Your feelings, I've said this before, your feelings is for your confinement. Your feelings is for you to be at home. When you go step out in the world, you can't operate in feelings. You have to operate in the reality and the facts. And I'm just telling you right now, if you are asking for something, one of the reasons that, if you haven't gotten it yet, one of the reasons that you haven't gotten it yet is because it is known that you can't handle it, because you ain't handling the little stuff that you got. And sometimes you ask, and then you're given what you ask for. And then that makes your situation worse than it was before you got it. So when you asking for something, you want, and a lot of people ask for money. Okay. Well, show that you're a good steward over money. Show that money in your hands is good. Show that, and what does money in your hand being good mean? There's a fruitfulness to what you're doing. You take your money and you take your friends out and you splurge on them. You take them shopping, you trick off on them, or you trick off on some girl, or whatever the case may be. That sounds good, but what are you doing to replenish that? Especially if it's a chunk of money that comes to you. You should be saying to yourself, now, how can I make this money work for me? And nobody's saying you always got to have the answers. But if you don't have the answers, shouldn't you seek the answers? Nope. You just want it. And be careful what you ask for. And then the people that are in your circle that you shouldn't have in your circle. Once you get something, they're the closest in proximity to be able to rob, steal, and kill from you to get what you earned or to get what you asked for. That what you want? Oh, well, so and so, man, such and such ain't gonna mess with me. He would never do anything like that to me. Let me tell you something about situations. Okay. When people are in their feelings, judgment is clouded, baby. And when the judgment is clouded, they are susceptible to do some of anything. It's like being in a house that you're not familiar with and it just turning the lights out. You're going to bump into things if you're not familiar with them. And you know what? Even if you are familiar with that surrounding, you don't know what's been laid out in walkways and stuff like that. Man, you've been have you ever walked into your house and one of your kids has something in the middle of the floor and before you could get the light on to walk over there to turn the light switch on, bam, you done darn near killed yourself. Why? Because it's difficult to walk in darkness. You need clarity. Listen, I know some of you are going to be like, yeah, but that's not faith. Okay. Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. I get that. I understand that part. But if you're going to have a fruitful life, then you need to have peace. If you're going to have peace, you're going to need to have clarity. And if you're going to have clarity, you're going to have to take these emotions out of the deal. Your essence of you, your spirit of you, doesn't care about your feelings. It cares about the result for you. And your spirit wants to lead you into everything that's good for you. But when you get into your feelings, that is just a direct defiance of the spirit. Your feelings are supposed to be in your safe haven. And you carry your feelings on your sleeves and out there with everybody. And trust me, I was that guy, always carrying my feelings on my sleeve. Always. But I had to learn how to tighten that thing up. Because at the end of the day, don't nobody care about your feelings. It's just like if somebody goes and leaves harsh comments on your post on your social media or whatever the case may be. Don't take it personal. What they're projecting is just a reflection of themselves. It ain't nothing personal. Do they personally know you? They know you from one post. You have to make sure that whatever you have, however little you think you have, you may think you don't have nothing, but you have something. Somebody's got it worse than you. And guess what? You need to be saying to yourself, you know what? I'm grateful for what I have. Let me show myself to be responsible for what I have so that when I ask for what I want, I have a resume of doing what I'm supposed to do with what I have. It can be anything. Some of you want more than one woman. Are you taking care of the woman that you're with? Did you master one? Why in the world are you asking for two? Some of you want a second job. Wait a minute. You don't show up to the job that you have on time. You don't do a good job at the job that you have right now. Man, you're on the outs right now with your job and you're looking for another job or you're looking for a second job. Really? Faithful over a little, faithful over a lot. You want good relationships in your life. You want people to be there for you. You want people to support your dreams. Do you support theirs? How much do you help them? How many times do you pick up the phone and call them and say, "How you doing? What can I do for you?" Some of you probably ain't never fixed your mouth to say that to anybody. You so caught up in doing whatever you want to do, you ain't really even thinking about what nobody else wants to do. Just pick up the phone, go to somebody's house, reach out to them, ask them how they are doing. But you're scared. You're scared to ask them how they're doing. You know why? Because if they tell you how they're doing, some of you know how they're doing, but you won't even pick up the phone or go see them to see how they're doing. Why? And you'll count it all on. I just don't want to be around that stuff. I don't want that bad energy. Somebody might be sick. Somebody might be dying. Somebody might be hurting. Somebody might have lost someone. And you're so caught up in what you got to do in your affairs that you don't even pay attention to anything that's going on with anybody else. And then you wonder, while you catch the raw end of the stick. When we were created and put on this earth for each other. We are spiritual beings having a humanistic experience, trying to make the world a better place for us coming through here. But you want so much. You dream so big. You can't even take care of the things that you're supposed to take care of on a level that you're on. Since when did you since when did you think it was cool to be at one grade level, fail at it, and get passed along anyway? Think that's making you better? They used to have this thing, this philosophy, this school philosophy talking about no child left behind. They stuffed the child in a classroom with 30 other kids. And the ones that passed are the ones that passed. They had a grading curve to help some other ones pass. And then the ones that couldn't even pass with the grading curve, they somehow just pushed them along after a certain amount of time. No child left behind. Now, does that help their graduation numbers? Sure. But that's all it helps. Does it help the child? No. If the child didn't understand something very simplistic, basic, and something that they needed to apply to their lives, they're not going to get it any other time, right? Unless somebody teaches them or they learn it on their own. This is what's wrong with the school system now. And in effect, teaching kids things that's not going to be applicable to life. Never talking about uh, credit, how credit works. Never talk about investing versus saving. Never talk about. I remember when they used to have home economics was a big thing. I think they started taking that stuff out of school. I remember my brother used to go to this place called I think it's called Votech, where they went out there and they learned different skills and trades that they could carry on. And then remember, before integration, before Martin Luther King got assassinated, you had a whole lot of when you graduated from high school, you was certified to do quite a few things. You could be certified to be a plumber, certified to be an electrician. So you could take those things and you can go out there and you can make money. And mama and daddy and grandpa and grandma made more money than we made in comparison to the times and dollar value. And they didn't trip. That's why mama and daddy, grandma and grandpa, they used to be able to single family income. Single income household, because there was plenty. Now I remember when my mom used to tell me her mortgage was $35. What? $35. Then she put my dad on the lease. Then she put my dad on the mortgage, and it jumped up to $135, and how that was frightening to her. But in the essence of it, it's just like $135. How would you guys like to pay only $135 in a mortgage? I would. Get out of here. And we don't even have any feelings about where we are, where we stand, and what we need to do with what we got. We too busy asking for more. You got a plate full of food, you know, you got your chicken, you got your collard greens, and you got your macaroni and cheese. And you eating with your peers, you eating with your siblings, and you're gonna look and you're gonna ask your mom, can you have some more chicken? You ain't even eat the chicken on your plate. Just stomach bigger, just eyes bigger than your stomach. But you want more. Whatever you want in your life, you got to sow it. You got to sow it. Ain't no way around it. You want money, then you're gonna have to sow money. You want time? You're going to have to give time. You want people to be charitable to you? You got to be charitable to other people. Like, where do you get this thing where you can get exempt from what you're supposed to do and the laws therein of the land, laws of the universe, laws of nature, whatever you want to call it? You have to take the time out for other people. It is simple gestures. You want people to call and check on you. How come you're not calling and checking on anybody? When you're low, you want people to be right there to help you out. But you're when you're up, you don't check on anybody. Ladies, you got a you got a child and you want that man to be there for that child. But you keep that child away from him, and then you later have kids with somebody else. And I'm speaking to somebody directly. You later have kids with somebody else, and that very same thing that happened that you did to uh your baby daddy is the same thing that your new baby daddy did to you, and you feel so victimized. Why did you not sow that? You thought you were exempt. So you can't be responsible and accountable. See, if you're not responsible and you're not accountable, you are exempt from ever having an overhaul of an abundance of whatever it is you want. And if it does come into your life, it's there for poison. Because the provider knows that you aren't going to do right with it, and it's sent to you for punishment. Sometimes your blessing, sometimes your gift can be good for you, and sometimes your gift can be bad for you. And if you don't have any self awareness, accountability, responsibility about yourself, you'll miss that. I knew this girl, she inherited a large sum of money when her parent died. Okay. Man, she acted. Man, let me tell you something. When she got that money, she told everybody who was in sight what they could kiss and how they could kiss it. Oh, she felt like she was top tier. And it wasn't even a lot of money. It was a lot of money, but it wasn't a lot of money. Now, she told everybody what she thought. See, money is just a magnification of who you really are. See, some of you can't be who you want to be because you don't have the resources to be that person. And so some of you need to be suppressed like that because you ain't no good anyway. You got issues and you ain't even addressed them anyway. But you know what? Some of you, you get that money and you really show yourself. You show your true colors. You start changing. All of the things that you were prohibited from being, now you have an opportunity to be. And really and truthfully, it's just a showcase that you're a jack in the box. It's just really to highlight and showcase that. It's one of those things I like to call as a once and for all. It's to let people know who you truly are once and for all. You got a little bit of you got a little bit of money now and you starting to act real different. You're the most decent, kindest, most humble person when you're on the bottom. But when you start to get up there to the top, or you start to get a little momentum in your life, you are a nasty, evil, vindictive, victimization type person ever. Everybody is wrong. You are right. And you go on and you think you're going to live the good life. But you know what? No road is so long that it doesn't have an end. And you may get by, but you're not going to get away. So, how many times do I have to say? How many times do you have to understand this concept of whatever you sow is what you reap? And this is why you can't have a lot because you can't do what you're supposed to do with a little. It's not about. I remember this lady one time. We was at this church, And this lady, she said, this is what she said. She said, huh, if my man didn't make any money, huh, if my man didn't make any money, we wouldn't be together. Right? Now, this was a pastor that said this, right? A female pastor. I'm like, what? I ain't say nothing. I ain't show no expression. I was just like, oh, okay. Then the pastor looked at my wife and she said, ain't that right? Well, my wife's a little different. So my wife said, it's not about how much money my husband makes. It's about what he does with the money that he makes. And I wanted to marry her again, because the truth of the matter is I may be doing well, but that doesn't mean that I can always be doing well. And just because I fall off doesn't mean I'm a bad person. Doesn't mean because I stay up that I'm a good person. It's some bad people that stay up. Drug dealers know how to stay up. They giving drugs to the community that kill people, but they know how to stay up. See, blessings aren't just for good people. Blessings are for good people, bad people, and everybody in between. And some of you don't know the difference between blessings and favor. See, everybody doesn't get favor. Favor is unspeakable, undescribable, indescribable, right? But but blessings is just something that all you got to do is get in the way and you're going to catch it. And everybody know when it's going to rain. They can look at the clouds and see when it's going to rain. That's how blessings are. Blessings give you such a sign that it's coming, that all you got to do is just posture yourself, and then you're going to have it. But some of you are so scared to grow that when blessings do come down, your cup is about this small. Then you be like, well, I'm just not getting blessed like everybody else. But if you was doing the due diligence of what you're supposed to do in your life, you would be growing and your cup would be growing and you would be expanding your territory, enlarging your territory. And if you were faithful over the little things that you do, then when you get a huge blessing, because sometimes people, they don't come outside when it's about to rain, blessing. And the only way they're going to get blessed is because of somebody that they're connected to that's in a position. But you get your blessing and you hoard it, you keep it, you do some stupid stuff with it. But see, my concentration is on expanding my territory as wide as possible, not for myself. I just want to be a channel to bless other people. Because when you really, really think about it, we don't really, really need a lot to live a life that is of great quality. You can pay you pay your bills, you can buy your food, good drinking water, and be able to go somewhere from time to time. You can't always go somewhere because you got stuff to do. So if you can just go from time to time, like, that's a full life. But we get so caught up with, my shoes cost $100. I need the $1,000 pair. My bag costs $100. I need the $1,000 bag. I need the $10,000 bag. I need the $25,000 bag. It's some crazy stuff out there. And people get those things. And what do they want to do? They want to flex it on everybody. Like, look at my bag, look at my shoes, look at my purse, look at my my gold, my golds in my mouth, look at my earrings, you know what I'm saying? Look at my whatever it is that you, man or woman, you want. You sit there and you say, man, but look at me, look at me. And then they look at you. And then what? You pay $10,000 for them to look at you. Woo, they know I'm stunting. You got what for that? And that's the trick of, especially people that look like me. That's the trick of us. We go after, we can't be wealthy, right? We don't know how to be wealthy. We ain't figured that out because right, because after the Emancipation Proclamation, right? Coming out of during that reconstructive period, we had 0.5% of the nation's wealth, and we still to this day, 2021, 0.5%. So we can't seem to figure out how to become wealthy because we're not practicing group people economics. And then you wonder why we can't get many things, because we ain't faithful over a little bit of things. And We only own that, but we got $1.6 trillion in spending power every year. So we have enough to make us multiply and have so much more. But we don't work together. We don't work together. We don't work as a family. Like we don't even like some of us have brothers and sisters and we don't even want to see them win. Like it pains us to see them win. Long as we winning. We want to be known as the head honcho in our family that succeeds. And instead of saying we want to be known as a man, my last name is Boone. Man, have you heard about the Boone family? Man, the Boone family's doing great. But everybody else and every other ethnicity, they get that concept. They get that and they do some semblance of practice in group economics. Even the Hispanics understand or implement better group economics than we do. It's a crime to help each other. It's a crime to do right with what we have. So we can't even talk about multiplying ourselves as a people. We can't even multiply ourselves individually. We can't even amplify, magnify, whatever, enhance ourselves as individuals. Because what do we do with what we get? We take it and we give it away to meaningless things and people that don't care about us. This should be a broken record to you. This isn't new content. This isn't something brand new, fresh off the press. I didn't know that we were just so behind the eight ball. No, we are behind the eight ball because we just keep doing the same thing. And that's what insanity is. Insanity is doing the same thing, expecting a different result. And that's why we are insane as a people, because we keep doing the same thing. We keep operating with the same trauma. We keep not addressing the same issues. We keep going over and over and over again with the stuff that we're currently doing, been doing, was doing, and everything in between. And then we get the result that we get. And then we're sitting there saying, man, can somebody cut us a break? But we're not faithful over the things that we have. You'll go out there and bust your hump to try to get a house. Like that's the end all be all. And you got wealthy people that don't even own, that the house they live in, they don't even own. They might own properties, but they don't live in them. And you don't even understand why. You won't even investigate why. You just say, nope, that sounds stupid. You think just because you get a house that's an asset, and that house can be really a liability. But what do I know? You need to make sure when you leave this, when you finish listening to this video, I'm gonna wrap this one up shortly. I'm gonna wrap this one up sooner than normal. When you leave this video, here's what I want you to do. I want you to ask yourself honestly, what do you do with your money? Let's just start there. You don't know what you do with your money? I have a little exercise. Take 2 shoe boxes, right? And I want you to, on one shoe box, I want you to slit a hole like like a piggy bank, but a hole big enough to put your receipts in. 2 shoe boxes. And I want you to, for the next 60 days, I don't want you to change any of your habits. You've been doing them so long, so it don't matter. But I want you to the only thing I want you to do is I want you to take every purchase that you make, everybody in that house, and I want you to put on one box, I want you to put need, and I want on another box, I want you to put want. Okay. Now, some of you are buying needs and some of you are buying wants. Come up with a color code. Maybe put need as green and put want as red. Okay. And if you've got more wants on that, if you got more wants on that sheet, on that receipt, the needs, then put it in the want box, and vice versa. But I want you to just take the next 60 days, 30 to 60 days. See, 60 will be an even larger sample size because you'll get into the fluidity of things because it takes 21 days to create a habit and 42 days to create a lifestyle. So I just want you to stay in your rhythm of doing what you're going to do. Don't try to be conscientious now, buddy. I just want you to just take your receipts and I just want you to, at the end of the day, stick them in both boxes, right? And after that is done, whether it's 30, 60 days, I want you to sit down with your spouse if you have one. And then I want you to look at and tally up all of the money that you spent on wants. And then I want you to tally up all of the money that you spent on needs. And then don't be upset. Be critical of yourself. Then you're going to find out what kind of shenanigans you've been up to. When you feel like you've been broke, some of the things you can't quantify with the receipt, but you can write down on a piece of paper what you use. So, like, if you go and play cards and gamble, or you do something like that, or whatever the case may be, set aside a certain amount. Just not set aside, but take the amount of money that you use gambling, and don't curtail it. Don't cheat it. Nobody's going to see this but you and your spouse, or you yourself. But write a little note. Hey, look, I was playing cards tonight. I lost $85. Put it in the bag. Put it in the box. And then after you review that, I want you to ask yourself, are you faithful over what you have? Or are you wasteful of what you have? Look, closing. Let me just say this. I want to illustrate something, okay? Okay. All right. This was me. I'm going to use me as an example. I like Chipotle. Now, the last time I went to Chipotle, because of all of the changes with the inflation and stuff like that, you want to get a burrito or a bowl, man, that I don't know where you are, but that thing costs like $9 now. It used to be $7. It went up $2 in a short period of time. But let's just go with 9. Okay, let's go with 7. No, we're gonna go with 9. All right. I would get me one of my things is I would get me a bowl at Chipotle. I would get me 2 bowls a day. And sometimes I would do it 5 times a week. Okay. So 5 times 2 is 10, but we're going to say 8 because some days I wouldn't. So let's just say 8. 9 times 8, $72. 4 weeks in a month typically. I spent $288 on one meal. All right. $288. And then some of you don't even have life insurance out there that can get life insurance. People that can. But there's some of you don't even have life insurance out there. Some people you don't have any savings or retirement or whatever the case may be. Now, you could go home and you could make yourself a bowl or a burrito and pay fraction of the cost to eat the same or more. And then you got 200, you got, let's just say $200 to play with. You could invest $200 every month, but you broke. But you don't even understand. You don't even pay attention to your behavioral patterns that make you broke. You would never work the job that you have if you have a choice. You would never work a job that you have if you had the choice, if it didn't pay you enough to take care of your needs. No, you went out there and you got that job and you say, I need a job making $5,000 a month, so I'm going to get me that job and that'll take care of my bills. And then you wonder why you're still broke. You got a promotion and you broke. So we just have to be accountable for what we are responsible for. whether it's money, whether it's people, or anything. We have to be accountable for what we have. We have to be responsible for who we're connected to. And we have to lend ourselves to who and what we're connected to so that we can get the best outcomes for the people, the places, and the things that we are affiliated with. And in essence, we get what we need. So take that from me today. All right? That's my time. But again, make sure you comment on this video. Make sure you like this video and make sure that you share and subscribe to this video. All right? I love you guys. My information is on the bottom. If you want to contact me because you have questions or you want to book or you have a booking for me, then I'll be happy to entertain that. My email is right on the bottom there. It's been my pleasure. Y'all talk to me nice. I'll always talk to you real.